Everybody. Thank you for joining us for another edition of our Real Estate Backstory. We do this every single week where we kind of go over the comings, the goings, everything happening in the real estate world. My name is Alan Richardson. I'm the managing broker at Maximum Realty and Realtor Partner.
It's been a long weekend. My name is Nick Richardson. I'm the compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
All right. Well, we have some pretty interesting things that we want to kind of go over this week with you guys. And so probably the first thing that we kind of wanted to kind of touch on is how we're communicating with our clients. We recently just read a very interesting book called A World Without Email. And it really is about how we communicate in this world right now. And so what we've seen, and there's some direct implications for realtors and for real estate agents in there, because what we've done is we've kind of replaced a lot of our communication with email, and there's a trend to replace a lot of communication with text. And so for years we kind of would give our kids a hard time, you have to actually pick up your phone, you actually need to call people, and our daughter is like the world's greatest text machine in the world. And so
communication through phone.
She would absolutely text long before she would do
pick up the phone call.
But what we see is that when it comes down to having complex conversations and interactions where you actually are looking to inform, educate, provide value, service, like calling people on the phone is, number one is going to be in face-to-face. Okay. Absolutely. And so a lot of times we have completely forgotten that face-to-face is there. And I know everyone went through COVID. We've been through that where it was like people bad kind of thing. Well, that's not where we're at anymore. And so please, I guess what we're going to implore you is to begin, first of all, lead with the appointment. Like when you talk to your clients, can you meet me at the office? Can you swing by, hey, let's meet for lunch at Chick-fil-A, whatever kind of thing. But in person is always going to be best.
Absolutely.
After that's going to be picking up the phone. And so we have no problem with text and email. We we live that
sometimes
world.
We have to do it just because our time is very limited.
And for text and email, that's going to work really good, especially for follow-ups, for sharing information, that kind of stuff.
Appointments and stuff like that. Hey, appointments set out X amount day and time. Yep. That's perfect.
But for real serious conversations, especially when we're talking about, hey, how are things going on with the market? Have you had any thoughts about selling? Tell me, are you living in your dream home right now? These are really great questions to have with your clients. That's nothing you can email, because first of all, they're probably not going to answer the email. And you're not going to get any sort of buy-in. So for those of you that don't love your phone, the actual phone that you actually call, you're going to have to check yourself a little bit, because it's really, really important that we do that. Now, the other thing that kind of goes with that, and this is a skill that we're really wanting to kind of push and not push is the wrong word, encourage,
adopt,
is that a lot of times we need to understand and be able to show empathy, but especially like right now, we're going to show you some information where, depending on the news source, real estate's really great or real estate's not great. And so there's all kinds of differing attitudes. Mm-hmm. And so when you listen to someone as an ally, as opposed to trying to correct them or fix their way of thinking, it's a different thought process. And what we find is that we have such a greater impact on folks when we actually listen as an ally. Sorry, I know. But when we listen as like when we're on your team, like we're here to help you succeed. Now, I need you to understand really what's going on. But when the approach is like if we take the approach of, you know what, you're wrong, that's not listening.
If you're there to prove a point, then you're not proving a point. Matter of fact, you will lose the listing. So, but if you go in there empathetically and as their ally and trying to get the objective accomplished, I can't talk now.
Yeah.
Then you probably will win the listing more so than not.
But one of the biggest things that you can do is listen. Listen to what their concerns are. Don't just kind of poo-poo those kind of things. But at the same time, we also have to be able to speak truth.
Absolutely.
And so it comes with having an understanding of what their situations are, hearing them out, taking what's going on, but also being willing to say, listen, I understand that I want to help you through this process. This is what we're really looking at. And whether you're talking about setting the price point, that's always a potential challenge with a lot of our clients. It's like, well, I want 350. Well, I don't show any comps over 325. And so, like when you come in and you listen to what their concerns are, and a lot of times it's concerns that don't really carry a lot of weight, like, well, I just put in floor heating in. Well, the buyers don't care. Or do you know how much I paid for the house? The buyers don't care. Well, the house down the street sold for that.
X amount of dollars.
Now the buyers may care. But we have to also make sure that we're comparing apples to apples. Like, that house has a finished basement and yours is sitting on a slab. That's a different price point because it's a different layout for the house. So, listing as an ally is a really important tool that we really need to kind of incorporate. When you put the fact that you can actually have face-to-face or phone conversations, and then how you listen, that's going to help us be really, really impactful in how we engage with our clients. So,
well, and also that's part of negotiation. So if you're able to listen to what their objective is and basically repeat the same question back to them the way they want to be expressed, I think you'll find an ally with them as well when they feel like they have an ally with you.
Yeah. I'd like to kind of share with you something that's kind of going on. So this is a piece of news that came out, and so this is from Mike Dupree. He shares out kind of what's going on in the portal wars as far as like between Zillow, Realtor, Redfin, Homes.com. Right. And like Homes.com is the newest player in this market. It's owned by CoStar, and they're really trying to jump into this space. My point here is not that the portal wars are going on, and these are really big companies dumping millions of dollars into here. My challenge is just to regular agents and to realtors out there. Like we can win the portal wars if we'll engage with our clients. We all have a database, a CRM, something, because when you look at the portal wars, what's Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, Homes, what are they selling? They're selling listings. They're sharing properties that people can look at. And we all have those. All of our websites have those. And actually, they're way more up to date. Like we've all seen Zillow listings from months and months ago. And
they're recycling no inventory just to make themselves look like they're have more than what the the MLSs have.
What we see is that folks, like your folks trust you. And when you send them to your websites, and your websites have real estate data, they can go and search like an agent, like that phrase of search like an agent, that can be so powerful for us. When you look at like Zillow has over 200 million monthly unique users. Even Realtor, who's number 2, has around 65 million monthly users. Like, how many of those folks could we actually be engaging with, as opposed to them going to Zillow, Realtor, Redfin, that kind of stuff? So we have a lot of the same tools in place that we can utilize. But guess what? Like they're spending billions and millions of dollars on advertising, and we won't even tell our clients about it. We don't even send out emails. We don't share text messages. We don't talk on the Facebook. Like there's so many chances that we have to share our sites, our properties. Click here to search like an agent. You can search directly on my website. There's no obligation. That's such a powerful statement. And folks trust you. People don't trust companies. They trust people. And so that's a really, really safe place and a smart place for us to be. So mortgage rates came down.
Yay.
Praise Jesus. Now, if you look at the rates for last week, they were still crazy. And the 2 big reasons why mortgage rates have come down. First of all, we finally got the debt ceiling thing past us. And so everyone was starting to get really anxious about debt ceiling, and that caused the markets to kind of go haywire. And so rates were going just nutty. And then 2 of the members of the Fed came out and they're kind of implying that they're not going to be raising rates at the next meeting. And so all that kind of information means that there's been a pretty significant, about a quarter point drop in the past, 4 or 5 days just in interest rates, just because it was being artificially propped up by a lot of other factors. So,
Well, the insecurity and the rest is what, the mortgage industry look at and as a whole. So they normally put a cushion in between, just make sure to cover their bases.
Yeah. So, and Core Logic, the Standard & Poor's, Core Logic, Case Shiller, all the big companies came out and they've released their pricing index, which is showing we're seeing a definite trend up. Okay, and so we did see
drop in February,
and these are national numbers. But now, how about in Georgia? Well, not so much. Georgia is running, and Atlanta in particular is running around 4.5% property value increase. And I say that because we keep seeing so many people, and there's a lot of different news talking about what's really happening.
What's kind of amazing is that I had a buyer call me and said, "Hey, with the interest rate being up this high, should I just wait another year because we're going to renew our lease?" I said, "Well, you can if you like to pay 4.5% more next year on the same property you're looking at today." So with that, she's like, "Let me talk to my husband." So, this is all about education and knowing what you're talking about, and also, address the concern the buyer has. So,
yeah. At the same time, FHFA, they came out and they show the Atlanta market as being 5.6% up. So, and you can see that, yes, is the rate of increase as high as it was? No. But the rate of increase that we had
is still going up.
It's still going up, but it wasn't sustainable. Right. No one's making 19% more than they were last year, which was 17-19% property value increases in a calendar year.
We're over 20.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's huge.
So, being back into the range of normal, that's really, really good for us. Now, at the same time, where are they heading? And so Freddie and Fannie both are expecting property values on the national level to decline.
Drop at 2.9%.
Yeah, 1.5%, 2.5%. And then at the same time, Zillow, Realtor.com are expecting property values to increase. So it kind of depends on who you're, which camp you're at. But these are national numbers. And so real estate is still local. No matter who you choose to follow, guess what?
You need to follow the local where you're at.
There is, but there isn't a crash coming. We're not looking at anything. I mean, we have way too much demand, way too little supply, and we got all these millennials that are reaching first-time buyer range that are moving in the market. Correct. So like we're not looking at any sort of real estate crash or that kind of stuff. And so may we see prices flattening a little bit? Maybe. But it won't be until the fall if we see those flattening. We're into our spring and summer buying season now, and so maybe it's on, especially with interest rates coming back down. So overall, one of our biggest challenges is that new listings of home are still down about 25%, 23% from last year. Our new listings are down huge, and I do believe part of this is also driven by interest rates as well. I think sellers are like, well, I'm going to stay put.
The thing is that the monthly payment has to stay the same. So when you compare a 3 or 4% interest rate versus 6, that's about anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000, depending on where you're at.
But it's not just new listings. Our total active listings are at its lowest level
right now
ever. Right. So and so people are like, well, it's slowed down. Well, we have less sellers on the market, less properties to offer. And so we're seeing where that is, like inventory is one of our biggest challenges right now. And that's partly what's keeping property values maintained. And then as soon as we see interest rates come down, we're going to see even more buyers moving into the market. So there's going to be a lot of pressure hitting our marketplace right now on that. That being said, pending sales are down 17%. Now, actually, that's way better than it has been. Okay, it had been pending sales had been trending down in the 30 up to 30% kind of thing. So that's a really good place for us to be. Wanted to share with you a little bit of weird information, I guess. About 70% of all of our buyers and sellers have dogs, have pets. And so what are the states where moving with your cat and dog is easiest or the hardest? And Georgia comes in at the ninth easiest state to move with your cat and dog. And so, yeah, we do. It's one of those where they have to have a rabies in the first 120 days, and then Georgia's pretty, easy on that kind of stuff. But a lot of times we think that because that's how it is in Georgia, that's how it is everywhere. And so we're seeing where a lot of people are moving all over the US. And so what are the states that are the strictest? And the state that's the strictest actually is number one is Hawaii, and followed by New York. And the interesting thing is a lot of people are coming from New York to Georgia. And so, the rules for pets are not the same. Like here in the South, we'll have a dog up underneath the deck and cats running around, all this other kind of stuff. And different municipalities have different rules and standards for that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, Georgia's pretty, I'm not going to say lax is the right word, but there's a lot of states where it isn't. And so just understand that kind of going into it. If you have clients moving to New York or to Hawaii and they're going to take Fido with them, well, that's really good information to be able to share with those folks. What's the requirement for taking Fido with you when you move? So the Supreme Court came out and there was a ruling against the water rules. So the EPA had been pushing this Federal Clean Water Act and how that was going to impact it. And let me back up and say, no one wants dirty water. No one's like, yay, clean water bad, right? No one is saying
We don't want safety.
But that being said, it was really infringing on personal property rights, and it was also adding huge amounts to like right now we need housing, and one of the biggest challenges for developers and for developing land are some of these Clean Water Act rules. And it was adding, I mean, literally, they were talking about it, on average, it was adding $10,000 to $15,000 to it could have added $10,000 to $15,000 to the value of lot prices, and we can't afford that already. So, I do think clean water is vitally important. We definitely care about that, but we also care about people's personal property rights. As a realtor, that's one of our main charters in there as well. So that kind of got struck down. It wasn't struck down, but it's definitely kind of eased some of the burden there.
The stricter regulation was struck down, not necessary that the water was bad.
Yeah. So, there's a list of sustainable home upgrades, and two of the ones that I really wanted to kind of highlight with you. And these are, first of all, these are very budget friendly because it's under $500 upgrades that most people can do. It can be a really nice conversation starter for you to use on social media and talking about. The first one is lighting. If you have the old incandescent lights and that kind of stuff, on average, like for those upgrades, like what it costs you to buy the bulbs is what you'll save on average in electric bills
in a year
for the first year. And energy efficient lighting now lasts for a long time. So this is something that if you can reap your investment back in the first year, and then all subsequent years are just gravy at that point, that's a really great place to be. Second one is going to be a smart thermostat. Those also, because you can fiddle with them, program them so much better to where you're running the system when it needs to be and not. So those are probably the two most
sustainable home upgrades.
There you go. Thank you. Investor activity is down huge. Now, a lot of this is being fueled by the iBuyers. The iBuyers are really trying to figure out OfferPad, Open Door, those kind of guys are really trying to figure out what's going on with the market. But investor purchases overall are down big time. And where are they down the most? In the Sun Belt. So overall, Atlanta came in at overall investor purchases in Atlanta are down by 2/3, 66%. Market share in the Atlanta market is down, help me out here. 14 percentage points kind of thing in Atlanta. So, investor market. So this is good for us, especially when we're talking about first-time buyers and folks entering the market, because our investors typically buy the less expensive homes. And so if 2/3 of those offers are down,
because the starter home, we at one point know multiple industrial investors that was buying 200, 300 homes a month. So with that said, all these starter home are pretty much gobbled up by them.
Yeah.
And now, so there's no more unless they want to move to the next ranking of homes, in which they're not willing to do that because everybody's apprehensive because the interest rate.
Well, we're really glad to see that because we need inventory. So if I'm not having to compete with our buyers, it's more inventory that we can have for our buyers.
Well, if you think about it, the rental rate actually came down as
Yeah.
well, so that, it affects the property value, and so they're just getting a little
You
apprehensive.
skipping ahead. That's good. So, Zillow had a recent survey that said, what percentage of people support additional housing ADUs, and it was pretty much overwhelming. And so we're seeing a lot more popularity for ADUs. And depending on the county, sometimes an
Explain
ADU.
what ADU is.
Oh, additional dwelling units.
Okay.
Or additional housing units. Like can you put a mother-in-law suite on your property? Can you put can you convert that detached garage into a little mini apartment? Different municipalities are different ways, but at the end of the day, affordable housing is a really big deal, and a lot of times those are very affordable housing for folks to have. Now, on the other side of things, we have the apartment world, and here in the apartment world, you can see where national rents are down, or national rents are still up a little bit. But you can see what the trend is in national rents, and so it's been trending down, and we're actually like that's a good thing for inflation, for one.
Absolutely.
And also because so many of our first time buyers are renting already. Yeah, that's a big deal. Now, why are rents coming down? Because vacancy is increasing. You can see vacancy is shooting up right now. And then especially here in the Sun Belt, we've seen so much growth on how many apartments have been being built. And there's always apartments going up. And so that's kind of started to reach a tipping point there. And so you can see that, overall nationwide, median rent is up 1.9%, but that's not the Atlanta market. In the Atlanta market, it's down. And so, matter of fact, you can see that overall the Atlanta market is down 1.9%. So nationally, it might be up 1.9, but here in Atlanta and in Georgia, it is down.
We took a huge hike during pandemics on housings,
which everybody did.
All the investor was going crazy with the raised rate, and they were able to get away with it. And now, after pandemic, now, that's a different story. And without a new apartment, like Alan said, that's building. So therefore, people are looking at more affordable housing instead, just.
Right. But to touch on what Ming was talking about earlier, this is not, this is good for our renters. All right. Because, if prices are coming down, that's going to help inflation. But at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily help people get into a home, except it does. The number one place where our first time buyers are getting their down payment money is from savings. And so if they can save more, and so our message to our renters is, it's so great to see rents coming down. Save your money, because even though it will over the next year or so, it's probably going to become cheaper to rent than it is to buy.
Yeah.
But real estate appreciates on average 4.4%. The average homeowner's net worth is over $300,000. The average renter's net worth $8,000.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about a little difference here. We're talking about night and day difference. And so do you want to be part of the group whose net worth is $8,000, or do you want to be part of the group that's net worth is $300,000? I know which one I want to be part of, or am. So sorry. Now our new Real Estate Academy of America training center is out, and on there you can find information all about us, but also you can find all of our classes on the training schedule. So it is there, it is up, it is live, it is running. And so please, you can take a minute and look at see all of our classes, that kind of stuff. Now, speaking of CE classes, tomorrow we've got That's What She Said. It's all about communication and real estate. And that's gonna be over in our Noonan office. And then on Wednesday, we're gonna have Intro to Connect MLS. Connect is they're really changing, and Connect is growing into Georgia MLS.
they got a couple of tricks and trade I don't even know about, and which will help boost your efficiency and
Yep.
your search and how you look at things. So I highly recommend it. As software update itself, there's a lot more tools you can use to help you and your clients. So do take a class on
And that's
that.
going to be in our Fayetteville office on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, my blushing bride.
I am teaching and calling your code of ethics. So for those of you who are realtor, you are required to take this class once every 3 years. So the cycle ended last year, and this year is a new cycle for the next 3 years.
Yep. So we hope that you guys have a great week. If we can be of any kind of service, please call, text, smoke signals. We answer it all. Have a great week, everybody.
Have a great Monday.
Love y'all. Peace out.